Hello and good afternoon to everyone who is online with us today. My name's James Hall from QGate, and I also have my colleague Jonathan Small alongside me, who is our ClickLearn specialist.
Hello everybody.
Welcome to today's session on how you can support your users with 24/7 assistance and training using ClickLearn. We would love for you to be as involved as possible. So if you have any questions throughout, please do ask them in the question window of the GoToWebinar menu, and we will look to answer these in a Q&A session at the end before we conclude. For those of you who aren't aware, ClickLearn Studio is designed to capture and create support and training content across a wide range of software solutions. With a few simple steps, you can produce multi-format support and learning materials in any language and publish to a 24/7 interactive portal. We at QGate are the first authorised partner of ClickLearn within the UK, and also the first to provide ClickLearn as a service, which has really opened up unlimited possibilities to provide ongoing support and assistance, along with training and onboarding within the workplace. To get you started, here are just some of the examples of scenarios where the breadth of ClickLearn's support capabilities can really be applied to quite a wide range of software applications, including some examples, the likes of Salesforce, Oracle, Infor CRM, for example. But I think that the main thing is, we believe that well-supported and well-trained employees will really deliver the expected return on investment on new systems faster. This makes sense, right? I think the issue here is that sometimes when you look in detail at support and training today, there can be so much room for improvement. You think of new and existing systems which may have the ability to revolutionise companies, sometimes being abandoned as users aren't necessarily supported effectively. And this can mainly be due to the fact that they don't really understand how or why they're using it. But ultimately, we sometimes ask the question, is it really their fault? So we've been in business for 22 plus years and experience of working with quite a wide range of businesses. And we've identified some challenges inherent to traditional workplace support and assistance highlighted here. So I think, we've all been in a position where we've had to contact a help desk, sometimes even for a relatively simple query, but we just can't find the information to hand to help us. We could then lose some time spent on hold or waiting for a reply, which will maybe come back and just tell us to try a fix that has already been attempted. And, this can really be increasingly frustrating. I think on the other side of the fence, support teams can sometimes spend hours of their day repeating themselves to multiple users who may have the same issue, which could easily be down to user error, or it could be even worse. You could have a technical specialist within one area is on sick or on leave, and no one really else knows what to do, leaving issues unresolved. And this could really happen on one site. It could happen across national offices, or sometimes can even happen on an international scale. And when this is even compounded by certain language barriers or financial restrictions, this can really be quite a big headache for businesses.
So it doesn't really get any easier when you look at onboarding and training. For anyone who's ever had to create training materials, you'll know that it can take hours, days, if not weeks to produce, and then to perfect it so that you have the resources that you need. This is then exacerbated by trying to deliver the training to different teams within the business, and that's hard enough on a single site, but even more difficult if there are national or international offices. Even worse, as systems develop, materials are almost immediately out of date, and updating across multiple sites is a challenge and can result in Chinese whisper training, where users are misinformed by colleagues or outdated materials over time. This can become extremely costly and ultimately lead to lack of user engagement.
So, these are just some of the challenges which we have highlighted here, which I'm sure you can agree make traditional support, assistance, training and onboarding really difficult for businesses. As we mentioned previously, ClickLearn can be applied to any software solution, but for today's session, Jonathan's going to be giving you a demonstration within Dynamics 365. And we'll also show you how all of these identified challenges discussed can really be solved using ClickLearn.
Right, so as James has said, for the purposes of the demonstration today, we will be using Dynamics 365 as our example, but solutions are available for any other software. So let's start with our learning portal first of all. And what we've done here is we've embedded a bespoke URL into Dynamics so we can access it through our help. So clicking on the help button here takes us to our learning portal. And first of all, we see that we are taken to what we term a shelf, and the shelf here contains lots of different books, and what we're going to do is have a little explore of what's available. First thing to note is you've got a full contents down at the bottom here. This gives you an overview of all the different learning materials that are available through the portal. And then at the top we've also got a keyword search. So if we search for contacts, it brings up all the different references to contacts, and we can click on any of those to be taken to that material if we so wish. Okay, so I said about books. So each of these icons is a book, and they are separated by content or by particular area. And if we click on any of these books, it then takes us to a set of recordings. And what we can then do is go into one of those recordings. And it's important to note that all the materials you're about to see come from a single source of production. So we only have to do the actual recording once in order to get lots of different sources of information that we can then translate into all these different learning materials. So here, first of all, we've got a web page. And as we look down the web page, you can see that we've got perfectly cropped screenshots highlighting the elements of the process. Continuing on down, you can see that process, we've also got grouped shots here as well. So one screenshot can have lots of different elements on it, and these can all be grouped together. And then down at the bottom, there's a feedback section. And the point of the feedback section is not only to allow for feedback on the learning resource, but also perhaps on the process to inform business decisions and changes to that process in the future. So this is our web page. Along the side here, we have also got a set of other resources, and we've got our downloadable resources. So first off, let's have a look at the PDF. So if you have to do perhaps classroom-based training, or you have a need for a written process somewhere, this software also produces these as PDF, Word, and PowerPoint documents. So the PDF, again, you can see the process. And one thing to note with these as well is that they are totally customizable. So you can add your own business logos, your own color schemes to these. Same with the Word document. If we just download our Word document here, and bring that up, you can see again that it is completely customizable, and you can add in images and logos and color schemes to make it reflect your business. If perhaps you are doing a set of training for a group and there's still sometimes a need to do that, ClickLearn also produces PowerPoint documentation. So if you have to do any classroom-based training, again, you can see that everything is perfectly cropped. You have your instruction text, and again, you can add in your business logos and images to this. Okay, so that's our downloadable content. Here also, we've got a set of videos. The videos are, again, produced from the same initial content. And if we have a look first off at the Show Me video, you'll hear one of the over 100 digital voices available through ClickLearn.
Recording competitor details. Start by clicking on the Home button. From the Sales section, select Competitors. Use the New button to open a form. Enter as much information as possible about the competitor by completing the following fields. Name.
So as we can see, the video follows through the process and shows the user exactly what they need to do and where they need to click. You can add as much information into these as you want. So if you want a more detailed process, you can add additional information. If you want something which is quick and brief and easy to work through, you can keep that information to the minimum if you need to. Not only have you got the show me video, you've also got a try me video, which differs very slightly from the show me video in that this time the user actually has to click through the process.
Recording competitor details. Start by clicking on the home button.
And you can see it highlights where you need to click.
From the sales section, select competitors.
And it won't progress until you've clicked in the right place.
Use the new button to open a form.
So this starts to reinforce that learning, which is essential when you're taking on a new process. And then to really get to grips with it, we can have a look at the test me video as well. So this takes it to the next step.
Recording competitor details. Start by clicking on the home button.
So this time you don't get your little red square to show you where to click. You have to know where to click.
From the sales section, select competitors.
And the video won't progress until you click in the right place.
Use the new button to open a form.
And if I click in the wrong place, nothing will happen. And if I click enough times incorrectly, it'll then highlight where we need to click in order to move on.
Enter as much information as possible about the competitor by completing the following fields. Name.
So if we just click through.
Website. Street. City. State. Zip/postal code. Country/region. Create a record of your. Then enter details about their weakness. Finally, click on Save to save this competitor.
So here at the end, what we get is an overview of how we've done. And you can see where I didn't click correctly and click several times, it's shown that actually I've forgotten that part of the process and given me an overall score as well. So I might have overall passed, but I can also identify where perhaps I need to go back and double check part of the process. Okay, so as I say, this is all from one initial recording, all of these different formats. Also, you can do this within different languages, and we'll have a little bit more look at that in a moment. And that gives you a little bit of an overview about the portal.
Perfect. Yeah, I think you can see from Jonathan's demonstration of the portal really does store a wealth of information that can be accessible in quite a wide range of formats. And really, I think with the different video options, you can see how it caters to those different learning styles. And I think one main benefit is obviously once you want to update it, you only update it once, and should the need arise, should something be updated, for example. But I think that, again, another thing following on from this is that whether you have users in either neighboring offices or halfway around the world, all of that content gets updated at the same time, no matter what language that they're in. So yeah, really great. So I think I'm going to move on to the next part of the demonstration, Jonathan.
Yeah, and what we'll do now is we'll have a little look at how else you can use these learning portals and what other functionality you can get out of them. So why would you limit yourself to just one portal when you could have perhaps 2, 3, 4 or more portals to suit the needs of different user groups? You may need to have information available in different ways or only for specific people. And with ClickLearn, you can embed specific portals for specific user groups directly into Dynamics, and you can even restrict access to them so sensitive information isn't shared. And what we've got here in our instance of Dynamics is we have an addition to the sitemap, which is purely for help and support. The first thing that we've embedded here is something designed to suit the onboarding needs perhaps of a business. So if I just click here onto this portal, you can see again the similar layout. But if we actually go into one of the recordings, we can see that we have more detail added about the process. And this is what I've come back to from what I was saying earlier. You might have a process which is For someone who perhaps just needs a little bit of support in their everyday work, a very straightforward process. But for someone who is perhaps new to the business, you might want to add in that additional information. So here we've got additional information. And as we go through, you can see again those cropped screenshots. But also, you might want to add in, for the sake of practice and getting someone really familiar with the process, you might want to add in some practical tasks where they actually follow instruction and then have to actually input information into perhaps a mock system. So here we have potential tasks we can put in. Again, down the side here, you've got your videos and you've got your downloadables. So there's all that functionality, help and support there as well for the training. If we go back to our portal here, another particular type of users might be bespoke software. So here at QGate, we have our Paribus interactive software, which is a duplicate prevention software. So what we've done is we've added some bespoke content which particularly focuses on how to use that embedded software within the CRM. So here we've got how to use a search function using Paribus and that information there as well. And this is sort of to show that actually, with more bespoke software and software that are particularly designed for certain things, ClickLearn still has the same functionality and gives that same amount of guidance and support. Another perhaps type of user might be an advanced user or a super user who perhaps regular users don't need to see the processes of. So here we've got an advanced help portal. And one of the great things about ClickLearn is you can actually lock those portals down so that they are only accessible to certain users. So for example here, this one has got a password protection on it. And it is only set up so that if you have the login details that you can actually get in. So let us just log in. And once we put in our login details, then we can access that portal. Again, you can change the design of the portal, change color schemes to suit your business needs. So this one's ever so slightly different. But here we've got more advanced system information, which reflects perhaps the advanced actions that a super user might need to take or reflect. So let's have a little look in here. So again, looking importing data. And all of this information is about accessing advanced settings and doing more advanced functionality. So let's go back and have a look at one more little element here. And one element we've got is perhaps embedded language portals. So perhaps you have users in other countries. You can in fact have language portals embedded. You can do this as part of your main portal as well, but you could also separate them out. And the functionality within ClickLearn to use different languages is vast, because you can translate using Google Translate into 45 languages, and you can have all your documentation in different languages, as well as your portals and your videos. So if we have a little look here, this is a German translation, and you can see it's translated everything. Because it was done in an English system, it keeps the English metadata, because as ClickLearn works through, it picks up the data from the system. So you have your English metadata embedded into there if everyone's still using an English system. But you can also then change the language, base language in Dynamics, and you could record it through in that language as well if you want to. So that shows you the variety of different portals that you could potentially use and different ways and reasons that you could embed this into your system.
Brilliant. I think, as you can see, that with the embedded portals, it doesn't really matter the need or the software. I think now that there's you see that there's a solution that can really offer support and guidance to your users on quite a wide range of topics, software, etc. And we've done it with our own example. And one thing to kind of point to add on to that, to make it specific and maybe unique to your business, obviously the content which you can then create you can explain to the user, that not just what they're doing, but the how and the why, so they understand within the whole business context why they are doing certain actions within any form of software. Perfect. So I think we've got one more part within one of the demonstrations here, which is the digital assistants, and I've been right in thinking that it's only available currently within Dynamics 365. Is that correct?
Well, this one's embedded within Dynamics 365, but you can use it in other software as well. So what we'll do is we'll have a little look at it through our own instance here. The digital assistant is embedded into the live software. So rather than it being a video that you just watch, it's something you interact with. But it does, like the Test Me video, get you actually doing what you need to be doing with the processes. So at the top of the screen here, we've got our little digital assistant icon, and we click on that, and it brings up the digital assistant within the system. Gives you a little welcome message, and in that welcome message you can add in any information which is relevant. So for example, say use it within full screen in order to make sure you get the best out of it, but you could add other information in there as well. You've also got the search functionality, the same as you have in the portal. So in here, if you want to add in search information, you can again do a search for contacts, and it will bring up everything related to contacts. And it's got all the same recordings there that you could access through the portal as well. And if we just click on one of those recordings, let's go for that one. Again, it gives you a full overview in the window here, so you can read through. But if you need additional help, you can click on Assist Me Now, and then that activates your digital assistant live within the system. It gives you information, and we can click on the next button, and then it tells you exactly where to click within the system. So we click on here, follow the instructions, click on next, and we can follow the assistant around the screen. And depending on the process, they'll give us information or instruction on how to do that process. If we need to enter information, the assistant can be set up to tell you which information needs to go into which field. And so you can follow through a process step by step, bit by bit. And this is particularly useful if you haven't done a process for a while, say it's one you only do every few months, or perhaps it's one that you're doing which is not usual to you because you're covering someone else's work. There are multiple ways in which the assistant can help you and reasons for using it. And it's simply a case of following the instruction. So there we go. This is our digital assistant.
Perfect. I myself love the digital assistants because I'm really a learner. I learn by doing and actually doing the task rather than reading. So for me, it really is ideal. And I think, you know, with regards to that, you can see that users with their fingertips have all the information available to them, and they can kind of quickly learn and move on to the next task. Thanks for that, Jonathan. The next part of the kind of demonstration is to really kind of show you the other solutions which are supported. So you've seen within the embedded portal our own software, Paribus Interactive, but we wanted to get that in there to prove that, you know, it really can create support, assistance and training portals for quite a wide range of applications. And yeah, to give you an idea, we have a few here which we have also created support content for. So these include other business management solutions, and the likes we've got here are Infor CRM. We've done some for QuickBooks and for some of the Microsoft Power Platform. It works with other web applications, including you know, Google Chrome and Firefox, as well as Internet Explorer. And this is alongside the other Microsoft applications that we all use daily, such as the Office 365 suite as well. So yeah, as mentioned, really hope this begins to give you, you know, a bit of an idea and gets you thinking about the wide-ranging potential of support and assistance which can be offered with ClickLearn. If you want to take a look at some of the examples yourself, we will be providing a link later to where you can look and, you know, have a see how flexible things are with ClickLearn, how flexible it can be.
Okay, so we're going to have a look now at the final element of the demonstration, and this is just to show how you can create a basic recording To do this, I've got a short video just to show something that we have created, and we've done it as a video because sometimes in an online meeting it can take a little bit longer, and this is an easier way of doing so. So let's have a little look at this video, and what I'll do is I'll talk through as it plays.
Oh, what's happening there?
Let's just try that again.
Here we go.
Okay, so once you have done your planning and your design of a portal, next step is recording a process. And the basic steps of recording a process involves selecting the software and language that you're working in first of all. Once ClickLearn has disappeared into the background as you start the recording process, you'll see that if you hover your mouse over a particular area, you'll see a little green rectangle appear. And at this point, this is where you can click on the element of the process. If for any reason you click and the green rectangle isn't there, ClickLearn will inform you that you've misclicked and to try it again as well. So it picks up on your errors and make sure you don't miss anything. As you continue through the process, you can simply click on the relevant areas of the screen. And then if you want to add information into the fields as you go as an example, you can also do that because ClickLearn will record all of that information, not just the clicking on the screen, but also the information you're entering. It'll record a left click, a double click, or a right click as well. And all that information is then presented into the recording so you can access it for the next steps. Just have to make sure that each time you make sure that you wait for the green rectangle, then click and enter information, and then click on to your next step as well. Once you've completed the process and the recording, you need to stop it. And to do that, you press both control keys, and that then takes you to the save recording screen. As you can see here, we can add a file name in, and then we can click on save, and that will save that recording. Once we save the recording, then we can open it up and we can have a look and see what we've actually got from that. So if we open it up now, you can see the basic recording and the screenshots that have already been produced, nicely cropped for us. But you also notice the basic instruction text has been pre-prepared, and each of the screenshots has a highlighted area showing where we have clicked. Once you have your basic recording, you can then add in structure, group steps, add headings, subheadings, and then add to or amend the content. And so at this point, the planning really pays off as we can add detailed instruction, background content, as much other information as required. Okay, that concludes the demonstration. I'll now pass you back over to James.
Thanks, Jonathan. So after seeing the demonstration of how powerful the ClickLearn platform is, and also the breadth of applications and scenarios it can support, you can see really that support and assistance is really being revolutionised with ClickLearn. On the left, you may recognise this. This is the challenges which have been previously highlighted with traditional support and assistance. But with ClickLearn, I think it's fair to say you no longer have to wait around for someone else to respond. You can go directly to the information to solve the issue with that information available at your fingertips. Wherever they are or whatever language employees are working in, they can be confident that all material is up to date and consistent. And they're no longer relying on one team or individual, and the support teams can address more pressing issues. I think with this all available on a subscription model as well, it definitely becomes cost effective.
So not only does ClickLearn revolutionise and enable users with support and assistance, it also allows for ease of onboarding and training, as we've seen. So no more laborious screenshots copied and pasted into Word documents and then again into a PowerPoint, taking up time nobody has. And no more need for expensive face-to-face training, which often takes users away from their role. With ClickLearn, resources can be created easily and updated instantly, no matter where people are. The content can be detailed, engaging, and also standardized for all users, no matter their working location or their language.
So all of the challenges which we have highlighted, I think you can agree have really been solved, but the bottom line and the most important thing regarding ClickLearn that we believe is that it can really significantly reduce the cost whilst increasing that user adoption, which is so vital for businesses on those new systems faster. So now you've seen the demonstration and the platform again, I just want to kind of go back a second just to give you another reminder about the breadth of capabilities that it can be used for, because now you've seen it, it may get some ideas and get you thinking about how else you can use the platform. And yeah, hopefully this gets you thinking of how it can be used within yours and your customers' business as well. This brings us on to our unique offering. So as an authorized partner and a service provider partner, we can deliver support, assistance, training and onboarding in quite a number of ways. So our unique offering really does have the flexibility to suit a variety of needs. What we've done is we have 4 different ways here where you can access the ClickLearn portal via ourselves, and these include the initial ClickLearn as a service, which offers a wealth of generic content for users to access whenever they need support or out-of-the-box functionality on a per user per month subscription term. This combined with the ClickLearn content authoring services, which Jonathan will discuss in a bit more detail later, but this really does use our in-house skills and experience of educational course construction. We can also provide targeted bespoke support materials that not only reflect your system, but are really kind of embedded directly into it. And you know, your users can really take full advantage of that 24/7 help and support in quite a variety of formats, and more importantly, to suit a variety of learning styles. For those that are interested in kind of getting to grips with using the software to maybe create their own content, we do also offer a full training package to get you started with the basic concepts of content creation. And finally, as an approved reseller, happy to say that we can provide the software for you to own and use. But I think really, you know, most importantly, irrespective of the service you choose, we can offer, you know, that skills, knowledge and expertise to really give your users the best experience.
So, as James said, we at QGate are experienced in content creation and particularly using ClickLearn to produce bespoke support, training and resources that we can quickly and effectively publish for you as an online portal. We can embed background information in terms of policies, guidance and procedures, which gives users a complete picture of any process that they're involved in and how that fits with the wider business goal. So, in order to maximize support for the end user, we take time to plan your bespoke content with you. This includes confirming the number and types of portals required. We also look at the structure of the portal, the extent of the customized content, and the background information to be added to any process. The design of the portal will also be discussed, and this will include company branding, use of logos, and the types of media that are made available to your users as well. Once that initial planning and design stages are complete, each piece of content is created using the ClickLearn software, and much as you saw in the demonstration video. And then the next step is to enrich and organize, structure and edit that content for you. This is then enriched by the addition of agreed content that gives the context and information that the user will need to be supported and be able to do their jobs to the fullest of their capabilities. That portal is then deployed, or set of portals is deployed once they've been produced, and then we will evaluate how those resources are working, and if there's any requirement for any updates, amendments, these can then be planned in and implemented as required as well. So that nearly concludes everything we want to show you regarding the ClickLearn platform and the possibilities that are now available to offer 24/7 support, assistance and training to your users. And I will just hand you back to James again, who will show you what you can do next.
Perfect, thanks Jonathan. So yeah, really happy to make our pricing as well public and share the 2 models that we have with you previously discussed. So our subscription costs work on a sliding scale, and obviously the more users, the more cost effective it becomes. And on the services side of things, we do have those available in either 3, 5 or batches of 10 days. And yeah, finally, just to confirm, these are end user prices here as well. So as I mentioned earlier, if you can see the potential, as we can, of ClickLearn, and you're interested in what the next steps could be, would really recommend for you to go and have a look yourself, really. So if you want to get more of a hands-on feel of the examples which I've previously discussed, you can do that. Just simply, you can kind of get your phone out to use the QR code on the screen, or you can follow the link below. I'll give you a few seconds to do that. But we do have another step for those who want to take it one step further, and that is if you have Microsoft Dynamics 365, you can try it yourself. So we have an embedded assistance demo experience that is again available on our website. So you can show others, whether that be your users, your customers, how powerful ClickLearn is. So that concludes the webinar. Before we jump into a Q&A session, I would just like to say on behalf of myself and Jonathan, thanks for joining us today. Really hope that you found the session of value, and it's really given you some ideas into the possibilities available with ClickLearn. If you do have any questions and you haven't yet asked them in the question window, please do feel free to add them in the question window now. Or alternatively, if you'd rather take this offline, you can email me directly. Contact me either by phone or on LinkedIn, Twitter, I'm on all of them, to ask any questions. And yeah, really happy to announce that we can also offer a free proof of concept or a free trial if that is of interest to you. So I'm just going to open up the question window now and answer any questions. So the first question is there any Sage 300 and Sage CRM content already built and available? I think that's probably one for you, Jonathan.
Well, for us, that's not one which we have yet explored, but it is certainly something we could look at doing. I'm always very, very keen to produce content and produce information in different platforms. So certainly one I could have a look into.
Perfect. Yeah, I think it can be used across multiple software, as we mentioned. So please do kind of get in touch, and or we can kind of have a discussion offline regarding what we can do with Sage CRM. Okay, there's another question which has come in. Please keep them coming. So does QGate have to do all the authoring, or can we provide the content? That's quite a good one. And again, another one for you, I think, Jonathan.
Okay, so again, flexibility is the key thing. We can work with you to create the content collaboratively in lots of different ways. And the amount of collaboration very much depends on the needs of your business, the type of content, and the amount of additional information that perhaps you need to add to that content. So yeah, there's levels of collaboration, and we could certainly do that.
Perfect. Thanks for that, Jonathan. Another one is regarding the narration voice and languages, saying how easy is it to change?
Okay, so it's very, very easy actually to change different languages. So any content can be translated to any of the 45 languages, or even multiple languages if you have sites in different countries and need a set of different languages. You have also got the ability to download as an Excel spreadsheet the translation, have that content checked by a translator, and then you can just simply add that back in with any amendments that need to be done. And you can record within, as we saw, you can record within a language based system as well, so it picks up on the metadata of any other languages, or you could work it in several other different ways. So yes, basically it is a very easy thing to do.
Perfect. One question is asked for a little bit more information to share with their team. As I kind of mentioned earlier, I think the best place for you to go to is our website. I can go to that now for you if you give us 2 seconds. So what you can see here is that on the QGate website, we have quite a significant page dedicated to ClickLearn. And also the examples which previously mentioned, we have either Microsoft or other applications which you can take a look at. Perfect. I think we've got one final question so far, and that is, can you use your own voiceover as well? Another one on voice narration.
Okay, so the answer is no for that one. And my question would be that why would you need to with the amazing digital voices that are available? Very often a person who narrates a traditional video is not the creator, and the ability to use the digital voices makes the creation of the content far more efficient as well. So not something you can do, but I think the functionality of the platform itself makes that something that you wouldn't ever need to do.
Perfect. Thanks, Jonathan. Well, that looks like it concludes all of the questions which have come in today. If something does spring to mind after you leave this webinar session, my contact details are there. So yeah, please do not hesitate to drop me an email or a message, and yeah, I'd be more than happy to answer any questions regarding ClickLearn, and happy to set up a free proof of concept, free trial. Really hope, again, just like to say thank you, and really hope you found value from the session. And yeah, we look forward to seeing you at the next one. Thanks.
Thanks very much.